So our topic tonight is on Christian leadership traits and discerning what's healthy from unhealthy. Did you know leadership and the church go hand in hand? And the church needs leaders like you guys. I'll just start with me and Stan's story. So from the time that we became Christians, and even before we were married, we served in the church. So we just saw a need that the youth needed help. And we didn't think like, oh, do I have the gifts? Do I have the personality? Do I even like youth? No, we just saw a need and we just jumped in. And from then, we always served and never stopped serving till now. So, yeah, and that's how, and I thank God for that opportunity, because that's how we really grew in our leadership development and growth and people skills and faith, and just honestly, you taking up some responsibility in church. It's not about the size, it's not about the role, it's not about the title, it's not about how much you do, but if you take up some responsibility in the church, God will grow you. You will grow because you have to, because you are dealing with people all the time. That's what it is. And you have to exercise your faith. And when we're dealing with people, things happen with people, right? There's going to be breakdowns in communication, there's going to be misunderstandings, there's going to be people who criticize, there's people you won't get on with, and all those things are actually really good for us. And that's how we grow, right? We grow through trials, we grow through facing challenges, we grow through having responsibility and being amongst brothers and sisters in the church. Yeah, so we have just loved serving, we have grown so much, and we've developed so many more skills, and we've discovered that now we have a narrower focus, which is spiritual health and mental health. But we would have never come this far if we'd not first rolled up our sleeves, saw a need, and just started serving. Yeah, and it's been so fun along the way. It's been quite the adventure. Yeah. So, again, I want to reiterate, for us and for you guys, it shouldn't be about the role, it shouldn't be about the title, and it should never be, what's in it for me? If you have that motivation, what's in it for me, you're not going to last very long, because serving in church is all about honouring God and honouring people. And it's also a journey, and it's a great process of transformation. Like, it matures you, right? And maturity is a process. So just like you don't grow up overnight as a baby, you're not a baby one day and the next day you're an adult. It's the same thing as for you becoming a mature Christian, a mature leader. It's a process. It takes time to become more like Christ, to be that godly leader. And these traits are what I'm going to talk about. It's a process. And the key is just to have a humble heart, to have an open heart, to let God shape your heart and shape your character as you serve others. That's the key. Because, one thing is guaranteed, personal issues will come up in your life. And those are the hindrances. Personal issues and conflict and emotions are going to come up, and you've just got to learn how to navigate them, how to deal with them, and how to grow through them, how to learn through them. Yeah. So just imagine, say you're like, I don't want to serve in church because people are not perfect and I'm going to get upset and it's stressful and it's high pressure. Well, I'm afraid that's the only way to grow, isn't it? Through challenges, through facing tension and through facing conflict. But in that, when you face that, you make a choice. I want to honor God. I want to honor others. I want to honor myself. So keep that honor very central. So what is Christian leadership, actually? What is Christian leadership? I really love how Got Questions defines it. And it says this. So it's a very broad definition. I really like it. The Christian leader is one who follows Christ and inspires others to follow him as well. That's a pretty solid definition. To see others follow Christ, I need to follow Christ, right? How do I give out of what I don't have? A non-Christian cannot ask you or tell you as a Christian to follow Christ more, because they themselves do not follow Christ. So essentially, a living in a current relationship with Christ that lays the foundation for godly leadership. That's totally essential. A living in a current relationship with God. So again, leadership isn't a role, it's not a title, and it's actually about taking responsibility seriously. whatever that may look like. It might be just like, I need to open the door every Sunday at church, or I'm helping with car parking once a month. It is taking that responsibility seriously, honouring God and honouring others. And leadership is contrary to what we might think that, oh, I'll be seen, I'll be on stage, I'm the leader here. It's actually not really about that. What makes you an effective leader is actually all the unseen that you do. And the unseen, meaning the hard choices that you make privately between you and God, the burdens that you carry, the price that you personally pay, and others may never see all this. Only God sees, only you know. So focus on the unseen. That's that work in you, that's all those private decisions and choices that you make to pay the price. God sees that. And that is makes you an effective leader. And also as a leader, you're not seeking praise or acknowledgement. If you take up a role, if you'll be a leader, if you want to be a leader and you're seeking that, that's just the wrong way, right? Instead, you're praising and acknowledging others. It's the other way around. So you probably never heard of Erin Harrigan. I just came across her website, and she listed all these the top 10 godly traits of Christian leaders. So I've used these traits here just to credit her. But it's all my own content underneath these traits. So what you hear the following are these traits, and they're the signs of a mature person in Christ. So when you hear about it, don't think, oh no, I'm not that at all. Well, that's because maturing into Christian leadership, maturing into being a Christ-like follower is a process. It's a journey. But at least we know that's where I'm going, right? So these traits are set up to have you see that that's what I'm aiming for. So I'm going to talk about the five godly traits tonight, the other 5 another time, because we don't have time for all 10 tonight. So number 1, servant leadership, putting others first. Colossians 3:23-24 says, whatever you do, work at it with all your heart as working for the Lord, not for human masters, since you know that you will receive an inheritance from the Lord as a reward. It is the Lord Christ you are serving. So you know who you are serving, not just what you're serving in. It's knowing who am I serving, not just what I am serving in, because ultimately we're all serving Christ. How can I help you? How can I support you? How can I serve here? These are other-centered questions. And so one of the really, really important essential traits of a servant leader or of a leader in any capacity is to be an active listener. That should be a top priority, not the best speaker. Be the best listener when you're leading others. And because then you are putting them first, it's preferring them, it helps you to be patient, and also being really open to others' input and correction and help. This is a heart attitude. So serving others will cause us to be patient, right? Because we have to learn to tolerate distressing situations and feelings when problems come up. Conflicts will arise. Stressful situations will come. Long-suffering will become your best friend. As the Bible says, patience, which is long-suffering. Love is patient. Patience is long-suffering. Do you put relationships and people first? Are you people-oriented? So anyone can do a task, right? It's easy. If I can do something for myself here, that's so easy. But it takes a heart and people skills to lead and to influence people. So this is what you want to grow in, a heart for people and the skills as well to lead people. I think it says in Psalms that David led with integrity of heart and with skillfulness of hands. So don't think you just need the heart. You need to develop the skills as well that'll make you an effective leader. As a leader, you're investing time, talent, and energy and money into others. It can get both very uncomfortable and very enjoyable serving others. And oftentimes you'll feel like what you're doing is thankless. This is the truth. What you're doing is thankless. No one is going to thank you the way you want to be thanked. But God will thank you. God sees everything, and He is the one who rewards you. Remember about doing things for Christ, honoring Christ. So one thing that serving isn't, it is not rescuing. So servant is not rescuing. No, by definition, we know that rescuing is doing for others what they can do for themselves. Because, rescuing actually deeper down is about serving my own needs. Deeper down, it's actually unconscious. I'm not aware of it at all. You're not aware of it at all. You just know that you automatically want to run to meet every need. So, because, you don't really detect it, because on the surface it looks like you have others' best interests at heart. I'm always helping people. People feel very helped by me. But then you get these symptoms, right? So you look at your symptoms, go, I'm getting resentful, I'm feeling burnt out, I'm so tired, I'm so drained. Those are symptoms, and you need to listen to those symptoms. And because there's something driving you to rescue, and it could be this: I am loved when I am needed. So do you feel loved when you're needed? It is out of a need to be needed that you rescue. A lot of rescuers are in that place. But you can become less rescuey when you don't have those unresolved drives to please others, or to feel like I need to be validated from what I do. So always catch that, notice that, trace it back to core lies, and undo and unlearn those old patterns. And it takes a lot of intentionality and reflection on your part. So here's the key: the more self-reflective you are, the less self-driven you become, because you actually take out the drive of what's driving you. When you become reflective, when you ask, what does this happen? Where's it coming from? I need to deal with this. So number 2, the second trait is integrity. It means walking the talk. So integrity means wholeness of character, from the word integer, meaning, those of us, a whole number. I did not know that before, but integer, a whole number. So integrity, wholeness of character. And this means what? Being the same person I am to others, inside and outside the home. And this, being consistent, the same person here and the same person out, this is what builds trust with others. So this means being very honest with myself. God already knows who I am. I know who I am. I know what my values are. I know what my convictions are. I know what my preferences are. And I am very comfortable with that. So that's a place of honesty and security. So integrity is also about being in harmony with who I am. Being in harmony, like I'm not like, oh, I don't like that about me and I've got to hide it. I am in harmony with who I am everywhere I go, with anyone I'm around. So it's about consistency of character, being the same calm, peaceful person here and out. So I used to wear a mask outside the home at church. I was this really respectful and confident and joyful person, and nice. And I was like this with others in church. But when I got home, oh my gosh, the real me, the bitterness, the cynicism, the fault finding, it would all just leak out. I had to deal with those masks. And so do we all. So we have to walk the talk. So and people trust in that. You're so predictable. You're so consistent. So what you see is what you get at home and outside the home. So now, if we have a secret life, because we all have a secret life somewhere, we need to face it. We need to acknowledge it and face it and heal from it. Otherwise, what is going to happen is it's not going to go away. It's not going to disappear. It actually finds its way out. It leaks out into the light if we choose to keep ignoring it. It's just not a matter of if it will happen. It's just a matter of when. Okay. So living a lifestyle of integrity means also keeping transparency and accountability as a top priority. And I would say that more so if we are a ministry or a church leader. More so, we are held to a higher standard of transparency and accountability. So, thing is, keep being humble. Anchor my security in God. I need to learn how to feel safe being who I am. And I've got to access the tools and the support to heal from my past and emotional inconsistencies. You make that a priority. Number 3, is compassion and empathy. Colossians 3:12 beautifully instructs us to put on compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. This is to be like Christ, right? This is a picture of Christ when you hear that. Can you put yourself into the shoes of others? That's empathy. Putting yourself in their shoes, seeing things from how they see it. That's what Jesus did for all of us. He made himself as a human being to experience what it's like to live as a human being, yet he was without sin. And compassion compels us into action to help others. So maybe here's a test. How do you treat someone who has let you down or betrayed you? How do you react to their anger, rudeness, or ghosting? Initially, you might feel scared or angry, but eventually when those feelings come down and settle, can you separate your own feelings from that person? And can you dig deeper? And can you be reflective and say to yourself, I wonder what's going on with them to react like that? And at the same time, saying back to yourself, I wonder what's happening with me. Why did I react that way? And here's another question. Does your heart soften when you hear or see the pain and suffering of others? That's empathy. You want to understand them. You want to be there for them. Now, one thing that really, really freezes empathy is being harsh or legalistic with others. Are you harsh or legalistic with others? Well, why are those mindsets there? Being harsh and legalistic, it can actually distance people from you. They might not say anything to you, but they'll be slowly distancing themselves from you because, often people don't feel safe. And sometimes this can put people off guard, and especially you being in some kind of leadership position of responsibility. They look up to you and they expect to be treated with respect and gentleness and understanding. And here's the other thing too, if you put the tasks ahead of the person, so you make the thing they do more important than who they are. Maybe they feel sick that day. Maybe they couldn't turn up. Maybe you get mad because they couldn't turn up to do the thing that you expected them to. That's putting a task ahead of the person. So it takes a lot of, reflection and skill to I need to put the person first and then I can get the task done. So take a look at your own values and mindsets there. How about this? Can you release grace, patience, and gentleness to others? Are you able to do this for yourself? And that's very key, because if you cannot release grace, patience, and gentleness to others, maybe it's because you can't release it to yourself. If you can't show empathy, compassion, or care to yourself, you're not going to be able to do that to others. How you see yourself is how you see others. Our lenses of others are filtered from our own perspectives, mainly from our family, culture, and childhood. A lot of things go back to that. Those patterns are so deeply entrenched. And most times, the people that have reacted to you are your mirror. So that's a useful way of looking at it, isn't it? Instead of busy reacting, oh no, I'm so upset, instead of oh, they are mirroring me. What was my attitude towards them that they reacted this way? Oh, what did I do? Oh, I better change something here. So the way you keep being, keep all these things in mind is to keep yourself curious. If you're curious about the reactions you have with other people, their reactions, and your own inner struggles, if you keep curious, you will keep being less judgmental to yourself. You'll be less judgmental of others. Curiosity really kills that. So be kind and compassionate to yourself as God is to us. And he expects us to do the same to others. As he is to us, so I am to others. Number 4, visionary, inspiring God-centered goals. So Moses led the Israelites. He had this big picture view of where God was leading them, right? And Proverbs 29:18 warns us, though, it says, without revelation, people run wild, but the one who follows divine instruction will be happy. So being in Christian ministry or serving, it's actually a really spiritual endeavor. It's spiritual. It's not logical. It's actually very spiritual. Trusting in the Lord and his guidance and provision, it's very central to being a visionary leader, because God shows me something, I receive it, and I can nurture it and communicate it. So being able to see the bigger picture as well as a smaller picture, this takes skills, but it also takes faith. you receive it and you hear and you act on what God says to you or shows you, and you learn how to communicate that well. So where is this team going with this picture that you have? What is the purpose and the goals? Are we serving here? So it's not what I'm serving here. It's not my vision. It's our vision. So be clear and focused on the vision. The vision is called the end destination, right? And the mission, as we know, is how do we get there? So what about problems when they arise? So when we run into setbacks, we run into hindrances or problems. It's not because we don't have enough money here. We don't have enough people to help out. We don't have enough time. It's not those externals. It's often what really trips us up. What is that? We get hung up on magnifying the problems instead of focusing on the solutions. And the problems come because our glasses get all filtered and fogged up, especially when fear or guilt or shame is involved. And when other people are involved, and maybe they're criticizing you or they're saying all sorts of things to you that really upset you, and it can really fog up your glasses and you cannot see very clearly or properly, and then you start magnifying the problems instead of the solutions. So just become aware of that when this happens. Take yourself out to a quiet space, clear your head, pray and ask yourself, why am I doing what I'm doing here? To recalibrate yourself with getting back onto the vision. It's a good question to ask when you lose sight of your purpose or goals. And we can all do that. So get insight. What Stan talked about is insight last week. We all need revelation. Without it, we perish. We need insight. That's insight. That's like light bulb moments. That's like God speaking to me. That's like God showing me something I never saw before. And then get wisdom and understanding, and you'll get back on track. So the last character trait, leadership trait, it is a character trait as well, is courage, standing firm in your faith. Godly Christian leaders need courage. So Christian leadership, it often demands a large dose of courage, especially when our faith is put to the test. Like in Joshua, right? Joshua reminds us of this when leading the Israelites into Canaan. God's words to him still resonate with us today. Joshua 1:9, haven't I commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or discouraged, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. So faith there is knowing that God is with me and he is for me. That's faith. It's what he said to Joshua. I am with you wherever you go. I'm with you, I'm for you. So this comes out of your relationship with God. And this is what fuels courage, right? Your faith fuels courage. Faith fueled Joshua's courage. Joshua got faith from God speaking to him. So whenever you see courage, faith is behind it. Whenever you see courage, faith is behind it. And guess what? We all need courage when we're facing tough or scary situations, for sure. And here's some scary situations that you might face one day to test your courage. Can you still do what's right while not being liked by everyone? This needs courage for you to stand in your faith and convictions. Courage is making tough decisions where not everyone's going to agree with you. Speaking the truth in love, even when you're feeling uncomfortable to. That takes courage. What feeds courage? It's faith. Faith feeds courage. Taking faith-fueled risks. You know what God spoke to you, right? And you know that. You're very convicted of that. You know that he showed you this, so you communicate it well to others. You may communicate it to your team. But what if not everyone will be on board with it? That takes courage to handle that. So standing firm in your ethical decisions, even when it comes at a cost. It might mean you're the only one standing up when everyone else is standing down. That's courage. So to sustain your faith and courage, build a strong prayer life, build a strong word life, and build a strong support system around you. These three are very essential, like a three-legged stool. Be close to godly people. This support system is about being close to godly people whom you can confide in, pour out to, and trust in. And you must be selective with that to build your support team. So your support system, they will encourage you means to inspire back courage, put courage back into you, right? Encouragement, to put courage back into you. And you know what? None of us are wired to be without a support team, a support system. It can firstly look like our spouse, it can look like our close friends in church, and even expanding the circle outwards. It can be our pastors, it can be mentors, it can be people, we trust them. Because you know why? If you don't have a strong support system, you're going to feel isolated. You will feel alone, and your courage will diminish, and then you get stuck. And then you might even want to feel like withdrawing. So that's how much we need a support system around us to say, you got this, because God's got this. I'm with you. I support you. So when you consistently choose courage over comfort, you create a culture. And this is an all-important thing. If you're consistent with that, I mean, choosing courage over comfort. These are tough situations. Let courage arise. I'm going to make this courageous decision. Whenever you do that, you're going to create a culture and environment where faith grows. Because remember, faith fuels courage. So faith will grow, and people will take faith risks. People, it's not so much sometimes what you teach them is what they catch from you. It's what they catch from you. So they catch that the faith risks you're taking, and they go, I can take faith risks too. And that can propel people forwards into fruitfulness. Maybe doing things they never imagined they would ever do. But they'll be like, whoa, it must be God. It is God. So your bold faith can catalyze a God-honoring culture around you. So, guys, these are the first 5 traits of healthy Christian leadership. And so before we go into our groups, do we have questions? Can you put it on the chat, Stan?
Couple of questions.
Oh, good.
What is, you said that you dealt with those masks.
Yes.
You love to hear about process. You're like, must have quite a process.
Of course, yes. It is a process. It's not like, just going to turn into this different, authentic, genuine person overnight. No. It was painful. It's just me. I think I shared it before. I used to be very angry with everything. That was because I was trying to protect what I was really, really feeling deeper down. I wasn't very vulnerable. I was scared to be vulnerable. And yeah, so it was a process for me.
If you felt a certain way, be okay to tell people that this is how I'm feeling right.
Well, firstly, it was tell myself first. Yes, because I would really like, I cannot feel this. This is weakness, or I've got to stay strong, or go away feelings, go. If it was like that. So I had to, it's about applying God's love to myself deeper down. I thought I knew God loved me, but I did not let it go down further than that. And then the second thing was to the person who's closest to me, Stan. I found it so hard to be vulnerable with him for a long time in our marriage.